Hello, Knights, and welcome to Good Nutrition on a Student Budget, brought to you by Wellness and Health Promotion Services. Today, we're going to learn about the standard American diet, healthy eating, meal planning, and budget grocery shopping. So, what do college students eat? A lot of college students eat snacks, soda, tea, coffee, juice, fast food, eat out, and drink alcohol. We know not all college students do that, but we know that a good majority do. So, what is the standard American diet? Well, oftentimes it consists of lots of refined grains, sugars and candies, and very little lean protein and fruits and vegetables. One thing that we want to make sure is that we're limiting the amount of sugar in our diets. So limiting the added sugar by consuming more fruits and vegetables and less sugary drinks or condiments and things like that. Looking for natural sources of sugar, so things like an apple if you want something sugary versus candy bar or something like that. And then added sugar is often found in processed foods. So we want to make sure that we're going to read food labels in order to find out if there's added sugar in our foods, which we're going to learn about in just a few minutes. So the principles of nutrition, we look at macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, and micronutrients are those things like vitamins and minerals. So when we're looking at basic principles of nutrition, we want to look at balance, making sure that we are eating a variety of things. So oftentimes we say eat the rainbow because different fruits and vegetables have different vitamins and minerals in them. The nutrient density, so making sure that we're eating things that are going to give us those vitamins and minerals that are going to keep our energy up and our brain function going, and not those things that are just going to give us a quick high, like a candy bar is going to spike our sugar and then we're going to have a sugar crash. And then moderation. So you're never going to hear me say things like don't ever eat a cookie or cake or things like that. We believe in moderation and balance, and so that you can enjoy the things that you want, but maybe instead of having 5 cookies, we're going to have 1 cookie. And then getting the adequate amount of nutrition, so calories and vitamins and minerals. Oftentimes when we are trying to lose weight, we restrict our calories too much. But if on the opposite side of that, sometimes we do need to control our calories because we are eating too many. So what are those things we want to eat every day versus in moderation? So we want to make sure that we're eating lots of fruits and vegetables, whole grains like brown rice and quinoa, protein like chicken and turkey, some of those lean proteins, and healthy fats like avocados, walnuts, and fish oil. We want to stay away from things like donuts and cookies and chips and things like that, deep fried meats, as well as some of those snacks that have more of this trans fat or saturated fat. I really love this picture because it gives you an example of what a serving size is without having a scale or measuring cups. So if we're looking at a serving size of protein, it's about the palm of your hand. Grains and bread is about 1 cupped hand. This also goes for starchy vegetables too. Fruits is about the size of your fist. Vegetables are about 2 cupped hands. Cheese is 2 fingers together. Condiments is the whole thumb, and butter and oil is the tip of your thumb. So that's a really great thing to use if you're going out to eat or you just don't have those things in your house. So we want to look at portion sizes. Portion sizes are really great because we want to make sure that we're eating enough of certain things and not too much of other things. So myplate.gov has a really great example of what a plate should look like. Again, it's another way to making sure that you're eating what you should. And it's an 8-inch plate, whereas most of our plates are 10 to 12 inches. Half of it should be fruits and vegetables, a quarter should be grains, and a quarter should be protein. Now you also see dairy on there. Dairy is something that's optional. We don't need it to survive. There's other ways to get calcium and vitamin D, but if your body can tolerate it, not all bodies do well processing dairy, but if that's something that you are able to consume, it's on there as well. So here's a trivia question. How much money would you spend in a year if you bought 3 small specialty coffees? So not just how much it costs, but also the calories. So each one of those is about 300 to 500 calories. And if you did that, it was about $1,200 a year you'd be spending. I don't know about you, but I know there's a lot that I could do with $1,200 in a year. So what are some strategies to eat healthy on a budget? First, plan your meals. The internet's a great place to look, but it also can be very overwhelming because there's lots of meal planning pictures and tips and tricks, and that can be really overwhelming. So start by just packing your snacks or packing one meal, or meal prepping one meal. Make a grocery list. So when you go shopping, you're more likely to stick to a list if you have it. If you don't have one, you might buy things that you don't really need. Bring snacks with you. So when you're going to class or work, this is a really great way to save money because you're not buying at a vending machine or stopping somewhere to get something. You just have it on you. And then limit eating out. Eating out can be really expensive. You're basically paying for somebody else to prepare that meal. I know it's super easy and convenient and tastes really, really good, but try to limit that as much as you can. And then, like we talked about before, skipping those sugary beverages and opting for something like water, which is free. And then if you really want some taste, flavor in your water, using something like infusers, where you can put fruits and all kinds of tasty things in there. And then it's really important to also read food labels, which we're going to talk about in just a second. So some grocery shopping tips. Never shop hungry. The average hungry shopper spends 17% more on their grocery bill. Stick to your planned list. So we talked about before, making sure you have a list and stick to it. And then when we're looking at buying some things, as you can see in the picture, there is the price per unit and then the price for the whole product. The unit price we want to look at because oftentimes you can buy something that's a little bit more expensive, but in a bigger quantity, and you're going to save money. Also for non-food items such as toilet papers and paper products, but also buying generic as well for all of those things. Some of the grocery stores have really great options for generic items that taste just as good and are significantly cheaper. Some more shopping tips. Shop the perimeter for fresh foods first. That way we're getting all of those things that we're going to prepare and aren't processed. Look for frozen or seasonal vegetables and fruits. We love the frozen food section of the grocery store because oftentimes it's cheaper, and also you can take out what you need and then put the rest back, and you're saving money by not wasting food. When practical, buy in larger quantities like we talked about, so look at those bulk items and things like that. And remember other sources of protein besides meat, because meat can be really expensive. So nuts, beans, dairy products, and eggs. We love eggs. Eggs are a great source of protein. They're super cheap and they have lots of vitamins and minerals. So we talked about before, that's a really overwhelming picture of meal prep. I don't know about you, but that's not something I typically do. But what I will do is maybe prepare 1 or 2 meals throughout the week and then portion that out and making sure that I can either take that for my lunch or have it when I get home for dinner. And then I pack all of my snacks. Another really great option is breakfast on the go. I am super pressed for time in the morning. And so making sure that I am able to take something with me that's easily transportable so that I can eat breakfast if I choose to do so. One thing that you can do for snacks is buy larger quantities of things. And then as soon as you get home, bring it home and portion it out. So if you're buying like a big pack of pretzels or nuts, coming home and pre-packaging those so that you are able to just grab and go. If you have to think about something, you're less likely to do it, or if you have to prepare it. So you can even do that with your vegetables and fruit too. When you come home, just pre-pack it, take it out of the packaging, wash it, chop it up, and then portion it out so that when you want something, it's already made and you don't even have to think about it. So saving money when you're snacking. So I know it's really convenient to buy something that's already prepackaged for you, but if you can just take the time to portion them out, you're going to save lots of money. So buying a bag of pretzels is about $3.49. You get about 15 servings out of that, which is about 23 cents each. If you were to go buy those individually packed, they can be packaged somewhere between 75 cents and $1 each. So that's a huge savings right there if you're just willing to package them yourself. One thing we talked about was reading a nutrition label. So in the last couple of years, they changed the nutrition label. So at the very top, it has what a serving size is. That's important because you want to know how much you can eat of something. Sometimes even if you eat some of those smaller packages of like chips or pretzels, there are going to be 2 serving sizes per container. And you think, oh, there's 200 calories in this. That's not that bad. But really there's 2 or 3 servings in it. So you want to make sure you look at that. And then check the calories. And then we want to limit things like saturated fat and trans fat and sodium. Those are things we want to make sure that we are controlling. And then we want to look at our carbs and sugars. So one thing that's new on some of the newer food labels is added sugar. We want to make sure that we're looking at how much added sugar is in it because we want to stay away from that. And that's something new that they just added to the nutrition label. And then protein. We want to make sure that we're getting enough protein throughout the day so that we stay satisfied. And that's the same thing with fiber too. We want to make sure that we are getting enough fiber in our diets. And then if we look at the ingredient list, so an ingredient list is right below the nutrition label, and that tells us what is in each product. We want to make sure that as much as possible we can read all of those ingredients, because if we can't, that's probably something that shouldn't be going into our body. So if you look at the difference between the chips, on the left-hand side is the Cape Cod chips, which has potatoes, canola oil, and salt. If you look at the right-hand side, which is the Cheetos, there's a lot of things that I can't even pronounce, and I have no idea what it is. And so we want to, as much as possible, either limit that food or choose a healthier option. The less amount of ingredients in it, the better. We get lots of questions about organic. So we always refer to the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15 because if you can purchase organic food, it is very expensive. Do that when you can. But honestly, we would rather you eat a fruit or vegetable than not eat anything at all. We know that college students eat between 0 and 1 fruit or vegetable a day. So if you can't afford fruits or vegetables that are organic, just buy something and wash it really good under water for about 20 seconds and eat it. We'd rather you do that than not eat any fruits or vegetables. Make the best choices you can. So if you're choosing between soda, chips, cookies, what are some of those better choices that we can make? And we want to stick to those. All right, so here's another trivia question. If you ate out 3 times per week, how much would you save? If you ate out less than 3 less times per year than you currently do, how much would you save? You would actually save quite a bit of money. So each one of those meals can be between $10 and $12 depending on what you're doing. Drive-through places are a little bit cheaper. So you can save quite a few dollars just by not eating out. So what are some things that we learned about today? First, think ahead, plan your meals as much as possible, grocery shop, prepare foods for the week, eat balanced meals, bring snacks with you, and make the best choice you can. We know that there's not always the greatest options, especially for college students who are on the run and super busy. But at each place that you go to, if you do have to eat out, there are healthier options. If this is something that you want help with, I'm going to go back to there. If this is something that you want help with, we do offer free wellness coaching. We are offering that currently through our phone system. So we can do Skype coaching as well as Zoom coaching, whatever is best for you. And you can meet with one of our coaches, one of our wellness coaches and certified nutrition specialists for free. If you need some food from the pantry is still currently providing food. So please check out their hours of operation during this time as well. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm Stephanie or Megan. here's our email address, and just let us know how we can help you. My email is actually stephanie.speeds@ucf.edu, and that's Megan's email address. She's also available as well. And we would be happy to answer any questions you have. Coming up in the summer, we will be offering cooking classes and cooking demonstrations as soon as we can get back on campus. We want to make sure that we are providing the services that we can at this time, so don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you and see how we can support you during this time. Again, my name is Stephanie, and if there's anything that we can do, please let us know. It was a pleasure to talk to you all today, and go Knights!